All right, welcome back, YouTube. Today, first off, we have to talk about what this video series, I guess, is going to be. It's not a series, but it is a Thursday release video. We do not have a name for what these videos are going to be just yet, but it's going to be pretty random topics, quick hitters. Today, we're talking about our predictions that we have not even discussed with each other about the soon-to-come CrossFit Games next week.
Yeah, so expect just to hit a little bit more on Thursdays. We're going to be releasing some cooking videos, recipes. He's going to be doing a little bit more PT work on Thursdays. We just thought it was a great time to get our Thursdays out there with the CrossFit Games being right around the corner and us having a couple Masters athletes up there. So we figured, hey, we'll throw out our predictions too. Why not?
Yep, might as well.
All right, so for today, we are going to start this video off with the men, okay? We're going to go through a couple things and just kind of have a conversation with who we think is going to win, who we think can maybe get on the podium, and who are some faces and some names that you should probably look out for. Yeah, I'll start us off with at least I'll go with my third place pick, and that's going to be Justin Maderos, right?
Maderos, yeah.
Yeah, Justin Madaro. So why I like Justin is, number one, he's been there from last year. He's obviously come up through the ranks with the teens, and he's went against Matt Frazier. Now I think Matt Frazier's kind of in his corner helping him out, and I like Justin's coach at CrossFit Fort Vancouver.
Yeah.
We met him a few times at the games.
Good dude.
Super good team athlete. He just knows what he's doing. And these team athletes that transition to coaching really do know what they're talking about, because he's been around for like 11, 12, 13 years. He's the only guy who's done that many team aspects and been to the games that many years in a row. So I think he's got a lot of good people in his corner, and clearly he's younger and he's fitter than I've ever seen him, and he can snatch a whole bunch of weight and he can run really fast. So that's my number third pick. What do you got?
Number 3 for me, taking it old school, is Scott Pancheck.
Oh, you put him on.
Scotty P.
I put that mofo on.
I know. I thought to
like
myself, man, this guy has been to the games like 100
like
times.
4, 5, 6,
Yep.
4, 4,
He's
4,
taken
4,
fourth.
8,
He's
6,
taken
5.
fourth, I think, 3 times. He's taken fifth. He's taken sixth a handful of times. A couple of years ago, he's like 10th or 11th, something like that. I think he still has the juice inside of him. I could be wrong. Old Grandpa
juice?
Scott. Old Grandpa Scott might got a
Is
little
this the
left in
same
him.
juice all the teams are taking?
Yeah, that kind of juice.
that
We'll talk
juice.
about that in
Yeah.
a minute too. But he's my number 3 pick. I think he's gonna squeak onto the podium.
I like it. I really do. Number 2 for me is going to be BKG. I'm
Okay.
going Gudmundsson. I don't know why, because honestly, I didn't have him as number 2. I scratched off a couple other names and put him on there a little bit later. But I think he's got enough of the skill and enough of the fight to get back on the podium. He's a guy that I've always thought was super well-rounded. That is just under, you know, I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. But he's underrated for what his abilities are. And his ability to stay consistent in so many different events, I love. He always comes in with fight. He's willing to die in any workout, which is my most favorite aspect of him. So I'm going to go BKG.
Yeah, I didn't have him on there. I think he's battled some injuries like within the last maybe year or two. I really didn't see him. I don't know. I didn't see him posting as much stuff on Instagram, which he was before.
Yeah.
But yeah, every time I see him posting stuff in a dungeon, just killing it in there. So it's probably a good pick.
Yeah.
My number 2, mixing it up a little bit, is Mr. Cole Sager.
That's
Yes.
dude, come on.
Cole
I like
Sager.
it.
I think he's going to get there because he's been battling back and forth. Again, he has been to the games a handful of times. He is a stud. I have competed against him before. I vividly remember Granite Games one year. We're going head-to-head on like some long, just grueling run after a bike and a ski and all this other stuff. And I was way ahead of him, and I'm just cooking. I'm ready to finish up. The finish line's coming there. This dude blazes past me, and I was like, this dude just has a second and a third gear. So I think that he has the skill set and the strength and power output. As long as these events line up appropriately for him, I think he can get onto the podium. I'm going to put him at number 2.
There's always been one thing that's kind of held him back, and and he does seem more well-rounded. He stayed the course and he works super hard in his garage. I like that pick. I kind of forgot about him, but Nice pick. So my top guy.
What do we got?
And I really struggled with this. I'm not gonna lie. I really went back and forth in this, but I'm gonna go probably a lot of people's top pick. But for me, I'm gonna go Patrick Vellner. Why I like Patrick Vellner so much? He didn't even 2 years ago, whatever it was. He didn't even make it in the top 5 last year, which. Yeah. I kind of thought that was a little bit of a joke. We're not going to go there. I'm not going to do it. And then 2 years ago, with all the cuts, all of his best stuff showed up afterwards. Yeah. So it was, I really just disliked the way that was laid out. And honestly, that was one thing that kind of hurt him, I thought. And I thought he had a lot more to prove, especially with 8-9 events left or whatever it was.
A ton, yeah.
So anyways, my number one guy, I'm gonna go Patrick Vellner. He's got chances to win events. Anything that he's not that great at, he can stay in the top 15, top 10. He's not gonna be a Matt Frazier where I think he's gonna run away with it. But I think if he's got a shot on Sunday to do what he needs to do, I think he's the guy standing on top of the podium.
Cool. I like that pick. I am going to, for my number 1 pick, I'm going to kick it back to Colin's number 3. I'm going with Justin Madero as my winner of the CrossFit Games this year. For all the reasons that you said, only just a peak above that. I mean, he's been training, with the Fort Vancouver dude, you know, for a long period of time. Now Frazier's on his side, and you could have the best coach in the entire world and just not listen to him, and then you don't improve at all. I don't think he's that kid. I think he's a very well-rounded athlete. Clearly, the CrossFit Games last year he did fantastic at a much smaller scale, but I think he's going to be the dark horse that comes in and takes the new throne.
Well, think of his training partners. CrossFit Fort Vancouver has been like one of the best gyms ever.
Yeah, for a long time.
I mean, his training partners are awesome. Now Matt Frazier might even be a training partner. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's a great pick. I can see it happening. Let's get into some outliers. Some people that we maybe haven't hit on that we have wanted to talk about. Who do you got that needs to get some love or maybe some not so much love?
Honorable mentions for me, of course, good old Iowa boy. We got Colton Mertens. This man is an absolute stud. If you don't know who Colton Mertens is,
and you just carry him like this.
He is a freaking brick shit house, man. This dude is a stud. He's literally a hog farmer out in Iowa, and while he's not picking up horses and shit and hogs and whatever else, this man's training. He's an absolute stud. Look out for him because he's going to be up there. He's going to, shatter some ground here. And the other person I'm going to give the shout out to is Chandler Smith. I think my personal take on Chandler Smith, he is phenomenal. He is an absolutely explosive, powerful athlete. We have trained with him before. He actually came out to OC Theater train with us a couple years ago before the games. Love the dude. He's awesome. I think his form is just, and everyone knows Chandler's form. Love you, buddy. But I think that's going to keep you out of the top 3 there. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But yeah, those are my 2 honorable mentions for sure. And then the one that maybe I want to talk about as well is Mr. Noah Olson. Noah Olson is definitely on the radar for everyone. He's been at the games a handful of times.
Been on the podium.
Yep, he's been on the podium last couple years or whatever, and he's just not my cup of tea, man. I think his mindset is too me, and so even though he is an individual competing, I just he's not my pick. He's not up there. Not my cup of tea.
I like your picks too. And about Chandler Smith, I think that he's got the whatever you need. He's got the it factor, but you're right. His form, I think, has kept him away. Now, if he's cleaned that up, he can make that jump pretty easily.
Could be awesome. I actually saw a video of him snatch balancing like 395 the other day, and it actually looked pretty clean. So maybe the form has been cleaned up a little bit.
Wow. But no, I'm with you too. That's why he didn't make mine. Is simply because of the form. I remember him catching those cleans on his.
Taylor, come
I'm
on,
like, oh my god, that hurts my eyes. I've done some crazy shit too. Don't get me wrong.
What do you got? Honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions, outliers. I've got Cole Sager, but obviously you've already mentioned him. A new guy, Jason Hopper. He has really come through where I think,
Nice.
him and Madero's for me on top 3 was like, I don't know who to put in. Jon Koski, that dude's a beast, but he always finds something, a way to get hurt. He has a terrible event, so I don't know, but I like watching him. Brent Fikowski, he just didn't look the same. I don't know if it was obviously the events he was doing or what, but he always sneaks in and then just kills the games. But for me, that's pretty much who I'm looking at outside of my top 3.
Yeah, Brent's a good look. He's just always right there. He's good at everything. Clearly, he's gotten stronger over the years. So that's a good one too. I didn't even really think about that. I'll be honest with you.
And I heard he's just like a super good dude.
Cool.
So I don't know. We'll see.
Never met him.
Yeah, if you like to drink beer, you also should be on this list because I heard Sean Sweeney likes to drink some brewskis. So maybe he should be on this list too somewhere.
Oh, man.
All right, so finally to wrap this up, who for your fellas has the most to prove? Who's the one guy that you can say, you got to prove something this CrossFit Games 2021? What do you got?
Good question. Mine is Justin Madero's. I said that earlier. I think he will win the CrossFit Games because he has so much to prove. He has this sponsorship, with Frazier now, following in the footsteps of the fittest on earth, and he was at the games last year when there was only 5 people at the games, right? So it's like, oh, well, this guy's kind of fit, but there was only 5 people there, so who knows? No, this man's got to prove that he actually deserves to be at the games and be a stud on the podium and actually win the games this year. That's my who has to prove themselves this year. What do you got?
Mine is Mr. Scott Pancheck. I think he has been so close for so long. Dude, it's time to stand on some boxes at the end of the year. He always has 2 events where I'm like screaming at the TV or I'm like in the background screaming when we were at the games. And I just think I like him. I think that he's got a lot to prove. I think he's always had the fitness level. I don't know if it's mental. I don't know what it is with him. But I think he's got the most to prove. I would honestly like to see him get on the podium this year and then hopefully quit. But I know he's got, I think he's got a new baby and he's got a lot of things going on, a business owner, but he, for me, has got the most to prove. All right, everybody, so those are going to be our top 3. Those are going to be the people we think you need to watch in the men's division. If you could, throw your top 3 in the comments below. Let us know what you think. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? There are so many good people, so many good guys in this group that you can put in and take out, so we want to hear from you. Let us know what you think in the comments below. We appreciate it. Stay tuned for our women's division coming up next. We call them Thursdays anything? This is a random Thursday.
Random Thursday for now, yeah.
You want to start it off?
Sure.
Let's do it, Batman.